Welcome back to No Kratom, and today we're going to be talking about strains, the different colors, the different meanings, does it make a difference, different locations, Borneo, Bali, Java, what have you. Let me get just 1 second. Here are two that I got. I've got more, but red Bali and red Borneo. Now, there's two things to keep in mind with every type of kratom. Color, right, red, which is white, green, red, and gold sometimes, or yellow, some people might call it. And locale, Borneo, which is an island in Indonesia. Bali, another island. Indo for Indonesia, right? Vietnam, Thai. These are where they're from, or grown. The color is what we'll talk about first. Color, clearly, scientifically, with very few debate, does have a difference. Because they are processed differently. The color is from the process of processing it. So what they do is they take the leaf, they take away the veins and stem, and they put those to the side. And then they dry it, and if all they do is dry it for a couple days, it's green kratom because it's still green. Sometimes they take it and then they leave it to ferment for a couple days, and that turns it into red kratom, which arguably has more of the active ingredient, or the main active ingredient. If they take the green kratom, then they take those stems that they took out earlier and they grind those up and put them with it. That makes white kratom. A lot of people think or say that white kratom gives more energy, has different effects because the stems have different chemical composition than the leafy part of the leaf. So therefore it has more chemicals, meaning it gives different effects. There's dozens of kratom-specific chemicals in kratom plants. The most popular or well-studied and arguably effective of them is, if I can find it, mitragynine, which I got this free thing that came with mine. I ordinarily wouldn't buy a concentrate like that. In fact, I don't plan on using it very much at all because that's very powerful. But that's the main active ingredient in all kratom. There are other ingredients that have other effects in kratom. So a lot of people say, okay, color matters to a degree. It's processed differently, right? You know, you put pork, you fry pork, or you boil pork or cook pork. It has different effects, obviously. So nobody really disagrees with that. But the location, people say that doesn't matter. Bali, Borneo. What is more important is the batch that it's from. And the batch can have just tons of different variation, because these are grown off of trees and they get them from all over the plantation or whatever, and depending on the soil, depending on this, that, the other, the weather that season, whatnot, then the kratom is different per batch more than it is per locale. But I disagree somewhat with that. One, yes, batches do differ significantly, but I'm not going to say that locale has zero effect. Bali, Borneo, Indo, whatever you like, they are grown in different climates, different regions, different soils. They're different subspecies, perhaps, in different cases. There's no reason to believe that they're all the same. Just like coffee's not all the same. You get coffee from Ethiopia, you try coffee from Hawaii, they're different. They're both the Robusto coffee plant or the Arabica, but they taste different, obviously, because they're different locations. Now, most of these are all grown in the same region, Southeast Asia. Bali and Borneo aren't that far apart and aren't that geographically diverse, but they are. And I think that if you conglomerate besides the batch differences, there will be differences between the two. How much? How many different chemicals are found different between these two? Which are what makes them different chemicals. Who knows? But I think there is a difference. You can say placebo effect, possibly, but I felt difference, particularly between colors, but also between strains. We can even take a look at them. This is my Borneo, and oops, and here's a Bali. Let me hold these up. Borneo, Bali. Now, oops, you can even see just on this poor thing the different coloration. This one, oh, this one's darker. That could be a batch variation, obviously, or not. So that's the difference between these strains, color and locale. There is a difference. Different chemicals make different reactions, and they can affect different people differently because everybody's body is different. So a Borneo and a Bali might not be different to one person, but they can have significant effect difference between another person because some fringe kratom-specific chemical that's only found in Bali affects this one person more than it does any a normal person. Therefore, it's a different effect. So that should be about it for the strains. Once again, I am sponsored by Just CBC Store or CBDstore.com. You can use the link in the description or in the post, or you can use the code COREY, Corey, that's my name, and you can get a 20% discount. And of course, it will help out the channel by giving me a small percentage of your sale. And as I've said before, just CBDstore.com has the best quality, both in quality of the CBD itself and also in the product it's in, be it gummies or whatever. I buy it for myself. I love it. I use it. I've got a vape right here. This is full spectrum with terpenes. I believe this is Northern Lights. So they have a great selection. The gummies are delicious and effective. So check them out. Offer code Corey.